Do you want to play Vanguard in Rivals? Well, I mean, you can, but there is a certain character that exists, and his name is Wolverine. And if he's in the game, you are going to die. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. So, Rivals Season 3 has dropped, and honestly, I've been having quite a bit of fun playing with this. And actually, I've been having fun playing with the Thing. I mean, I think his change to sort of make him like an anti-air tank is actually pretty cool. I mean, just giving him the ability to dive into the enemy team as well, I think is really cool. It's made him way more dynamic because he was a little bit one-dimensional and probably one of the worst tanks before this season, I should say. Although I think he's a much better tank now. But the biggest issue is Wolverine and tank balance and Vanguard balance as a whole, because what is basically happening, I guess like the TLDR here, is basically Wolverine. If Phoenix is on his team and he gets the Phoenix team up, he will not die. He will regenerate health so fast. But he also does more damage as well, but he will just regenerate health so fast, you will not be able to out-damage him. He will kill you. Now, this has got some issues with certain tanks, and it makes them effectively unplayable if Wolverine is selectable. Now, if you're playing a dive tank, let's say Venom or Hulk, or, well, I guess the Thing now, you jump into the enemy team, you are going to die if they've got a Wolverine, because he will just literally drag you into a corner and murder you. That's what's going to happen. You're going to die. You're going to need full support from your team to stay alive, and it's just not really going to happen. It's not feasible. So generally what happens is you're probably going to swap off those tanks and go to tanks like Emma Frost or maybe Magneto to try and kind of deal with the fact that you're not going to be diving into the enemy team. You're going to be with your team, and it's going to put the onus on that Wolverine player to dive into your team. So this is a massive issue, I think, with the game, and it's a big debate about balance, and it's definitely a big debate about rock and paper and scissors balance design. So, like, for example, obviously Wolverine is going to absolutely annihilate you if you're playing Venom and you jump into the team. He's going to kill you. But wait, what about hero bans? I know you're shouting that out from the back because I'm shouting it out from the back of my head, and I'm going like, yeah, what about hero bans? Just ban them. The problem with hero bans, and when you're going down this path of, well, just ban the hero if it becomes a problem, the game shouldn't really be balanced around hero bans having to sort of be the answer from the community, because this is going to exacerbate over time, because there'll be multiple heroes that then become, you can't ban them all, and they start having issues, and it's not even really a hot take. It's just when you make the heroes really powerful so people want to play them, if the heroes get then banned, you can only ban a certain number of heroes, and you're constantly making heroes very powerful in this rock, paper, scissors design, i.e. they just completely counter another hero because you select them, then this becomes an issue where you can't solve it with hero bans unless you start increasing the number of hero bans, and it's just, it's all becomes a bit of an issue. Also, on the topic of hero bans, you generally, and this is kind of funny, you do see the new heroes get banned just because they're new. I mean, I remember when Emma Frost launched, everyone was just banning her straight up. She was pretty good, but they were just banning her straight away. Ultron was suffering from the same thing. Now, of course, Phoenix is suffering from the same thing. I will quickly touch on Phoenix. I know I'm saying a bunch in this video really quick. It's probably that kind of monster I've just drunk. But Phoenix, I actually think she's a really cool designer. She's really awesome to play. But again, she's going to get banned out. Once you start getting to the ranks where hero bans come into effect, I know a lot of people are still playing below those levels at the moment. Obviously, with the rank reset and everything else, you've got to get back up to those levels. So it is kind of a bit of the Wild West, and I think that does amplify some of the issues people are having, where Wolverine is in every game because you literally can't ban the guy. You can also see heroes like Black Panther being extremely powerful, deleting your back line, and there's no answer to it. These are all things which probably will get cured with hero bans as you start going up through the ranks. Also, people will just turn around and kill him as well, not just let him farm the back line. So yeah, everything is in flux. But I did want to kind of talk about Phoenix. I do think she's a really cool hero design. I think she looks great. I think her abilities work really well. And I think actually she's quite viable in a lot of situations. Her ultimate isn't as crazy powerful as I thought it was going to be. She's still really good though. But her problem is the fact that she gives Wolverine such an insane team up. So if you're going into a game and Phoenix isn't banned and Wolverine isn't banned, well, then there's going to be a bad time for your team, because that team up is almost like a guaranteed win. Because what it enables that team to do is literally delete your tank from existence, unless you're playing, like I said, just a Magneto and a slow kind of like brawler comp. Instead of going for like fast moving dive comps, you're just going to get annihilated. And even in the slow comps, remember Wolverine is very mobile. So if he gets you on the flank and he shoves that tank, that Magneto or whatever, throws him right into the back of his team, he will get deleted. Now, I do want to kind of quickly talk about Magneto. Surely Magneto should just be able to annihilate Wolverine. If you want to go down the path of rock, paper, scissors design, and balance. Just make Magneto the way he should be, because, you know, Wolverine's literally got an adamantium skeleton. Let Magneto just dismiss him. That would be insane. That's probably me being a little bit more biased towards Vanguard heroes than the DPS. I don't know. And I'm also not going to open that entire can of worms on how many DPS heroes are coming to the game, because, of course, well, I say of course, I'm not going to show this in the video. You guys can go and search for this if you want, and I'm pretty sure you've probably already seen it. But there have been some quite substantial leaks for Blade. We know he's coming at Season 3.5, and he looks to be another DPS hero. People were hoping he was going to be Vanguard. I was hoping he was going to be a Vanguard hero, because his character model is quite large, almost like verging on the silhouette of a tank. Maybe he still will be, I don't know. All this stuff could be tuned, who knows. But yeah, he looks like a DPS hero. So again, you get down that argument of, well, everybody's getting, well, there's just loads of damage heroes, duelist heroes in the games. But actually, we really desperately need more tank heroes to make the role more diverse and to give us more options. Now, talking of options and talking of how you deal with this whole issue of a Wolverine, yes, like I said, you can ban him and whatever. Obviously, in Rivals, it's a bit more complicated because you've got the team-up amplification effect, where if the team-up hero is in the team with a certain broken hero, then it makes him even more broken, and he just gets like massively snowballing out of control, and you end up banning them every single game. I think in terms of ban percentages, Wolverine is one of the most banned heroes in the game. Ever. I think he's way over a 50% ban rate at the moment. This is because he's totally giga broken. Now, like I said, developers can act here. They can nerf him. They can reduce him in power level. We've not typically seen the Rivals devs act really quickly when it comes to hotfixes and hero balances. They have done it before, but they generally stick to the whole seasonal plan, where there'll be big balance updates at the end of the season, and obviously they're looking at what's gone in that prior season, what heroes perform really well, looking at hero win rates, looking at all of that kind of data, and then they make a decision. But I think sometimes you need to look at stuff and go, actually, this is kind of OP at the moment, and we do really need to jump in. Like I said, they have done that in the past, but they just don't do it very often. So when we look at Rivals as a whole, and we look at the game, and we look at the way the game is sort of put together, and we know the developers have said this as well, they're not necessarily too bothered with balance. They want the game to be fun, and they want to really sell the sort of feeling of being an overpowered superhero in the game, which I think they do really well. The problem is, it is a competitive game. Now, I know, obviously, the comparisons to Overwatch are made quite a lot, and yeah, Overwatch is a lot more finely balanced. It's a lot more higher skill ceiling. It's a lot more, you know, complex in that way. Rivals is a different way, a different approach to the hero shooter, and I think that's totally fine. It is more of an arcadey approach. It's more of a sort of casually competitive. That's what I'd like to refer to it as. But I think the devs, they almost like need to start looking at balance a little bit more seriously, I think, than they have done in the past, because you can't let the game carry on in its current state, because you're going to have a lot of issues. You'll start getting community-wide issues with balance. You'll start getting characters sort of, I don't know, like sidelined because of a community sentiment, which might not actually be real, but it's just based off past balance problems that character has had. I also do want to quickly go back to bans and the idea of banning out the new heroes. I do think that new heroes do get banned a lot more often than the older heroes. Phoenix is getting banned a lot, and I think Phoenix is a good hero. I think she's very viable. I think she does quite a lot of damage, and she is quite usable. But again, like I said, it is that amplification effect with Wolverine. We probably will see the banning of Phoenix taper off, and then we'll start going back to seeing like Wolverine just getting banned, and probably like all the other classic heroes who generally get banned, like Hulk and heroes like that. I just think that this is something that can be cured by the developers pretty quickly if they just look at this team up and reduce the effectiveness of it. Because you got to think Wolverine was still, he was still effective, and he was still banned a lot prior to this team up being added to the game. But Wolverine's issue was, I think, not so much an issue, but players were sort of getting a little bit better with dealing with the Wolverine. He does force certain tank selections, though, which is always going to be an issue just because of the way he's designed. But then when you throw in this team up with Jean, it's just ridiculous. Like, there's no answer to that, and you're just going to get bodied. So you are forced to select different heroes. There is also something else we need to talk about on hero bans. You cannot do this in quick play. Not everybody wants to sit there and grind competitive. People like to play games for fun. The majority of players do. And fun is chill and playing powerful heroes, powerful characters, and having cool abilities. This is what Rivals is looking at, and it's the main direction and the main narrative of the game. This is what they're going to do, and I think they're always going to do that. But this becomes an issue, doesn't it, when a character is so powerful, they can dominate a lobby and just literally win the game through that hero selection. Now, I'm not saying, like, if I just went out and selected Wolverine, that's it, it's going to be a win. My playtime on Wolverine probably isn't even in excess of, like, 3 hours or something. It'll be stupidly low. It would be just me messing around, probably close around the launch of the game, messing around in the practice range as well with Wolverine. Obviously, I've played against Wolverine quite a lot. And like I said, in quick play, you're not going to be able to ban him. He's just going to be in the game anyway, and it's going to bring sort of balance into disrepute. But also, as I did touch on earlier on in the video, you do have that issue of Wolverine not getting banned when you're below the ban threshold in competitive anyway. And a lot of people have been pushed back down below that ban threshold before bans come into effect, just because it's the start of the season. Okay, so it's not all bad, though. We have moaned about Wolverine quite a bit. We've moaned about Vanguard, balance, and all of that stuff. But I actually do think this season is off to a pretty good start. Just ignore the Wolverine stuff. When I look at the Vanguard situation, I actually think it's not as bad as people sort of perceive it to be. I think the thing is really fun to play right now. Yeah, you are going to get hard countered by Wolverine and whatever. It's the last time I'm going to mention his name in this video. But you've now got like a whole different tool set. In a way, you're kind of similar to Hulk, but it's actually easier to pull off your anti-air capability, because with Hulk, you have to like jump at them in the air, and it's a little bit more difficult to sort of gauge that. Whereas with the thing, you literally just look up, press the button, and you fly towards that flyer, pull them out of the sky, and then you can start battering them. Now, a good thing to do with the thing is you can hit them with your alternate fire. That now knocks you out of the sky. So if you jump onto them, as they fall down to the ground, you then smash them so they can't fly off, and you can generally kill them with primary fire or more secondary fires. Now, the other thing with the thing is you get a shield when you do this, so it gives you more survivability when you dive in. I actually think it's a really cool change to him. It makes him more dynamic. It makes him a lot more in-depth as a character, because before he could only jump to his allies and provide them with a shield. This obviously meant your engagement with the thing was to just rush in with your charge, slam the ground, try and get a bit of damage off, couple of haymakers, whatever you're trying to do, then turn around and get the hell out. You could also use the rush to the ally and give them a shield as a kind of peel ability, but I don't think it was really that great for that, because you kind of just run over, give them a shield, and then kind of stand there like you're a bit of an idiot. You're not really at the front. You're not really in the main fight. So yeah. Also, the thing has never really been considered like a solo tank, so I wouldn't try and use him as a solo tank. He's always been an off tank. He's always been, you know, like I said, okay at peel. But now he's very much like a dive tank, and it's completely revamped the hero. I want to play a lot of him. I just know that when a certain character's on the other team, it's going to be quite hard to do that. Now, I do think as well, other characters, like when we look at Doctor Strange, he's had a lot of consistent nerfs over the last couple of months to his character. He's still really good. He's still really strong. He's still a good solo tank. Look, Magneto is probably the best solo tank at the moment, although I guess that's debatable between Strange and Magneto. Emma Frost is okay as a solo tank as well. She's not the greatest, which is okay. I'd take the prior two over her, but I think she's in an all right position. Venom is like, I think Venom and Hulk are suffering because I think Venom suffers a lot more because he doesn't really have that like really powerful team up to give to allies, whereas Hulk traditionally has had that with his gamma energy. But again, like I said, we'll probably see Hulk getting banned out quite a bit. But obviously, that's not relevant when we're looking at quick play, where you can just play whatever you like. So I just think tank needs a lot more variety. But I do think this season is okay. It's not like a complete lost cause. And of course, you'll get games where people don't play certain heroes, so you will be able to play whatever you like. I think it is just an interesting debate, because when we look at Rivals in the whole, and we look at it compared to the other big hero shooter, Overwatch, which has got like nearly 10 years of development, and we look at Rivals, you can see mistakes or like problems starting to occur, but they occur really fast in Rivals. It's probably due to the way that new content is added to the game very quickly in Rivals. Obviously, it's an explosion in player base, but these are issues that might start getting amplified as time goes on. I.e., if you're adding heroes into the game that literally straight up counter other heroes, or with obviously the unique mechanic in Rivals of the team-ups, when you're just changing team-ups and adding team-ups in, which suddenly make characters really powerful against certain team comps and certain heroes, it can be a problem. Now, I do think when we go back, and I will end the video here, but when we talk about balance, and we talk about the way balance is approached in this game, it is approached from that point of view as they want you to have fun, and they want to make characters overpowered for certain periods of time. Now, the way they're going about the seasonal updates, and they're doing the updates faster now, and we obviously get a seasonal, like a 0.5 of a season, let's say, every month. This means we are going to get major updates every month. It means that we're going to get major balance updates. It means we're going to get retuning of the team-up abilities and the way all of that works. So it's going to be interesting to see what the devs do. But I do think Season 3 right now is actually a pretty good season. I think it's got some decent content, and I really like Phoenix. I think she's a good new hero. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I could talk about this forever. It is a really interesting topic. And yeah, remember you can follow me on everything, which is @Stylosa. And I'll catch you lovely lot on the next video. See you soon.